Ladies and gentlemen, Papa Boris here, playing some more 7 Billion Humans. I was tempted to skip this puzzle because it's not super difficult, but I wanted to make this video in the end to brag about the fact that I actually beat the optional size challenge. Now, I'm not the greatest genius in the world. Someone figured out how to do it in 7 commands. I don't know how, but they did, so way to go, them. But still, I'm always very proud whenever I beat the size challenge, so yay me, let's go ahead and do it. The object of this puzzle is for everybody to take 5 data cubes from this printer, exactly 5, and drop them on the ground. So at 5, you need to stop. If you do more than 5, you fail the puzzle. So what we'll do is we'll set the location of the printer in our first memory slot. We're going to pick up a cube. Sorry, no, not pick up. Pick up is you pick up the printer. And it's funny, if you do this, the person picks it up, it's too heavy, and it drops back down and crushes them, which is funny. But we actually want take from, so that we take a data cube from the printer instead of trying to pick up the printer itself. And then we're going to try to drop the cube. So if I'm standing on empty ground, then I need to drop the cube. And I also need to keep track of how many cubes I've dropped, because at 5 I need to stop. And that's where the calc command comes in. We're going to make memory 2 the slot that tracks how many cubes we have dropped. So each time we drop a cube, we're going to add 1 to that slot. Remember that as a technical quirk of this game, memory slots appear to have a default value of 0, so there's no need to spend a line of code setting it to 0. You can just start adding to it, and it'll work. Okay, now if we're at this point in the code, it means we've managed to take a cube from the printer, but we haven't actually dropped it. Or we did drop it, and we updated our calculation of how many cubes we've dropped. So we're either carrying a cube or we've dropped a cube and are waiting for the next cube. Now, if we've already dropped the cube, then we need to get another cube unless we're already at 5. So we only want to make sure, so I should say this, we should jump back to the beginning only if the number of cubes that we've dropped is less than 5. So now if you're at this part of the code, it means one of two things is the case. Either you have dropped all the cubes that you need to drop, or you need to do everything again. So the one thing that we're missing here is a step, because it's possible to have reached this part of the code because you failed to drop the cube that you were carrying. So this is a good place then to add a random direction step. So now we pick up a cube from the printer. We drop it if we're standing on empty ground and update our count of how many cubes we've dropped. We take a step in a random direction, and as long as we have not dropped enough cubes, we jump back to the beginning. Note that you can execute this jump even if you're carrying a cube already, but as a quirk of how this game is implemented, if you get a take from command, but you are unable to take a cube because you're already carrying a cube, you'll just ignore this command, and the worker will not cause the program to crash. So people pick up their cubes. This one's going to actually drop it right in that spot. Update their count, and then start stepping randomly and trying to get back to the printer. When people get a command that they are blocked from executing by other people, they'll basically wait for the other people to leave and keep on indefinitely trying to execute that command. People are not going to skip commands like that. So it's kind of interesting. Like if someone gets a take command and they're carrying a data cube, they'll just ignore that command. But if someone gets, let's say, a take from command and they're not carrying a data cube, but they're prevented from doing it because someone's in the way of the printer, they will just keep trying to execute that command until the end of time if the person never leaves. This guy's trying to find a place to drop his cube off. Wow, that is remarkable RNG. There we go. Okay, so if you're curious why 8 was so tricky, because it seems easy when you see it actually being done, it's because in a lot of variations of this code, you end up needing an end command to get the worker to stop moving after they have reached 5, just because of, the different ways that you've set the order of things. So that's why it ends up being a little bit tricky, but I found a way to not have to use an end command, and that saved 1 line of code. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like it or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.